Good day, good day, good day. How are you? This is just a response to Brother Reggie's video last night. Like, share, and subscribe my page. Go to Africa Online TV and subscribe and watch the original video. So, what I am going to show you here is the significance and the importance of this study. First of all, we have to know and understand that according to this is the first sequence of an Old Kingdom comedic Old Kingdom comedic remains. Right? So we now understand that is the significance, and this is why Brother Reggie would have brought it up. Because this is the first whole genome sequence ever of remains from ancient Kemet. Right. So I'm gonna go into it just a little bit, touch on it. I don't have to deep into it because Brother Reggie already talked about it. But I'm just gonna do a little commentary on certain things that's standing out to me. Right, that's the wrong one. Okay, let me stop sharing that because that's the wrong one. Get rid of that. Go back here. Go back to share. And this is the one that I would want. This is the one that Brother Reggie actually read. So let's go to the top. Right? And see, it says whole genome ancestry of an old kingdom Egyptian. So abstract. Ancient Egyptian society flourished for millennia, reaching its peak during the dynastic period, approximately 3150 to 3130 BC. However, owing to poor DNA preservation, questions about regional interconnectivity over time have not been addressed because the whole genome sequencing has not yet been possible. However, we sequence a two times coverage whole genome from an adult male Egyptian excavated at New Wayrat, radiocarbon dated to 2855 to 2570 BCE. He lived a few centuries after Kemetic unification, bridging the early dynastic and potentially bridging the early dynastic and old kingdom periods. The body was interred in a ceramic pot within a rock cut tomb, potentially contributing to the DNA preservation. Potentially, right, right. Most of his genome is best represented by North African Neolithic ancestry among available sources at present, yet approximately 20% of his genetic ancestry can be traced to genomes representing the Eastern Fertile Crescent, including Mesopotamia and surrounding region. This genetic affinity is similar to the ancestry appearing in Anatolia and the Levant during the Neolithic and Bronze Age. Although more genomes are needed to fully understand the genomic diversity of early Egyptians, our results indicate that contacts between Egyptians and the Eastern Fertile Crescent were not limited to objects and imagery, such as domesticated animals and plants, as well as writing systems, but also encompass human migration. Now, here's the main part of the article, right? For thousands of years, the Egyptian dynastic civilization, approximately 3150 to 3130 BCE, developed monumental architecture, sophisticated technology, and relatively stable belief system, being the longest lasting civilization known. Following the political, okay, we don't want to. Do we need to read this? I don't. I don't think we need to read that. Yeah, let me go back and read that. Yes. For thousands of years, the ancient Egyptian dynastic civilization, approximately 31 1530 BCE developed monumental architecture, sophisticated technology, and relatively stable belief system, becoming the longest lasting civilization known following the political unification of the northern and southern regions of Kemet, Lower and Upper Kemet, at the end of the 4th millennium BC, the Old Kingdom, 2686 to 2125 BCE, witnessed considerable advances, including the construction of the first step pyramid complex of King Georgia and the Great Pyramid of Giza built by King Khufu. The population has been considered to be of local origin, with limited input from neighboring regions, yet more recent archaeological evidence shows that trade connections existed across the Fertile Crescent since at least the 6th millennium BCE, if not earlier, with the advent of the Neolithic package such as domesticated animals and plants. Cultural exchange continued to develop throughout the late 4th millennium BCE with the growing Sumerian civilization of Mesopotamia. This provides overlaps with the appearance of additional innovations in Egypt, such as the pottery wheel, and there is evidence of hieroglyphic writing in the form of ivory tags in tomb UJ at Abju dated 3320 to 3150. A knowledge of ancient Kemet has increased through decades of bioarchaeological analysis, including dental morphology studies on their relatedness to other populations in North Africa and West Asia. However, the lack of ancient genomes, particularly for the early periods of Egyptian dynastic history, remains a barrier to our understanding of population continuity and gene flow in the region. Although individuals from ancient Kemet were subjected to the first effort to isolate ancient DNA, direct genome sequencing has remained elusive because of the challenging regional DNA preservation conditions. So far, only three individuals from Abu Sir el Malik have yielded nuclear DNA, all post-dating the emergence of dynastic Egypt by thousands of years, from 770 BCE to 23 CE. Moreover, these are not complete genome sequences but limited to approximately 90,000 to 400,000 target enriched genotypes. Over the millennia spanning the dynastic period, Egypt witnessed several wide ranging wars, occupation by foreign rulers, and dramatic episodes of internal political collapse, first, second, and third intermediate periods. Together, these processes may have subsequently altered or reshaped the overall genetic structure and ancestry of the Kemetic population. Here we present a whole genome sequence of an ancient Kemetic individual, 2.02 times coverage, supplemental table 1, recovered from a tomb at Nuwarat. So let's go into table 1 and see what table 1 is. Just because I don't think Reggie did this, right? So what is table 1? Let's see this way. What is this way? Okay, all right. Nah, that okay. That's a dead end. So let's go back. Oh my gosh. What? Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Give me a second there. Give me a second there. All right. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. All right. Give me a second. Sorry. I went into other tables and lost my damn. Give me 1 second. Okay, right. There we go. It's just showing you, right? So they're showing you this is where he was found. This is the actual pot he was found in. This is some of his first. Then we go down here. Geographic location of the Norat Cemetery, red dot, and the previously sequenced third intermediate period individuals from Asur al Malik, party vessel in which the Norat individual was discovered. Cervical vertebrae belonging to the Norat. Right, so they're just describing all of those things, right? So let's go back to the article. Right. The New Wayrat individual. New Wayrat is located near the village of Beni Hassan, 265 kilometers south of Cairo. Radiocarbon dating of the skeletal remains showed that the Norat individual died between 2855 and 2570 BCE. Give me 1 second, people. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Nobody wants that. Right. Radiocarbon dating showed that the Norat individual died between 2855 and 2570 BCE. 95.4% probability. Supplemental information, section 1, sub, supplemental table 2, which overlaps with the early dynastic Old Kingdom periods. Right. So let's look at supplemental information, section 1, and see what we see. Right. So this is whole genome ancestry of an Old Kingdom Egyptian. Right. So this is supplemental information. Supplemental information. Whole genome ancestry of an Old Kingdom Egyptian. Adeline Morales Jacobs, Joel the Irish, et al. Right. School of Biological and Environmental Sciences, Liverpool, UK. So the contents. Right. So let's go. Archaeological context. The pottery coffin burial was given to World History Museum, then Liverpool City Museum in 1950 by the University of Liverpool from the collections of the Old Institutes of Archaeology 1904 to 1905. Following a devastating fire during the Liverpool Blitz of May 1941, the museum was prepared to reopen one part of the building with new displays including the burial customs of ancient Egypt. Egyptologists at the University of Liverpool were assistant curators with the reassessing of the surviving collection, identifying gaps that could be filled from the university's own archaeological collection through loans or donations. In 1936, the Institute of Archaeology had lent to the museum a wooden chest shaped coffin of the Third Dynasty circa 2686 to 2613 BCE with a contracted burial. This and about 3,000 other Egyptian and Sudanese antiquities were destroyed in the fire, and so the pottery funerary was selected as a near contemporary replacement. A, se- a session into the museum collection as number 50.33, the accompanying Institute of Archaeology Index Catalog. Card records that the pottery archaic coffin, oval shaped within conal cover, contained characteristic contracted burial within, was found at Beni Hassan and dates to about Dynasty 2, about 3000 BC. The coffin was broken into fragments and would require repair if exhibited. Damage that presumably happened and Institute of Archaeology was hit during the bombing raids of May 1941. Remnants of woven linen textile with selvage may represent clothing of the deceased placed over the body. The pottery coffin burial is one of several hundred finds made during the course of excavations carried out in a group of cemeteries near the village of Beni Hassan, 265, 265 kilometers south of Cairo between 1902 and 1904 by an archaeological team led by John Garstang of the University of Liverpool. Garstang worked on behalf of the Beni Hassan Excavation Committee, a private enterprise body that founded the excavation for 2 seasons between 1884 and 1980. The Egyptian Antiquities Services could grant excavator a division of the finds made each season, reserving the most significant objects for the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. Members of the Beni Hassan Excavation Committee received a share of each season's finds that Gorstang was permitted to export. Some committee members were patrons of the university, such as Sir John Brunner, who endowed the first chair of Egyptology and would donate part of his share to the University of Archaeology. And this way, the university collection grew through conservative fees, and the reminder is now housed in the Gorstang Museum of Archaeology, University of Liverpool. So, this is just a little background on the objects itself and where it actually came from. So, I don't think this is significant in terms of the genetic study. So, I'm going to stop sharing that and I'm going to go back to the study. I was just looking to see what it says, but that's just a little information on the actual background of the object. Get back to the meat and potatoes of what we came here for. Right. But here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to stop here right now because I just wanted to. I think I'm gonna stop here right now for the moment. That was just a little teaser into what was going on. So I think I'm gonna stop here now, and I'm gonna come back a little bit later with some key points to the article that I want to point out. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed day. I just want to put it out there, put out some information on this. So I'm gonna come back a little bit later with a bit more of a pointed commentary on this. Have a good day.